Okay, well, since we last talked, I have had a lot of questions about how do you know the toxins come out of your body? How do you know you're going to decontaminate all these toxins and stuff? And I thought, well, maybe we need to go for a walk. You know, this dirty little planet and what man has done to it with its chemical productions has made it really, really tough to be able to avoid the pitfalls because there are lots of them. One of the biggest ones is the fluoroalkanes, the fluoride coatings, the non-stick coatings on pans, and the surfactants they use, much like the surfactants in glyphosate to make glyphosate stick to leaves. There is a reason why the non-stick coatings can stick to the pan. We started with Zonulin RP from DuPont, which is a spray-on coating for paper and packaging material and plastic, so the food doesn't stick to it. It's slippery, and it allows you to deliver your food in something convenient for the customer. But it's followed up by lots of studies now since its introduction in the 50s or 60s that it causes all kinds of liver damage, kidney damage, all kinds of stuff. Because it builds up. It's a forever chemical. Why? Because it breaks down into PFOA, which is what everyone knows is one of the major polluters of the water system in this country. So you're getting it every day, and it takes the environment out here 4.5 million years to get rid of it. It takes chemistry about 600 degrees Fahrenheit for a few minutes to get rid of it. But curiously, there are enzymatic processes in the body, phosphorylation, that with free fatty acids, which are carbon and hydrogen, and minerals, which are the heme groups, the irons, and substrates like hydrogen peroxide, they can take those and grind those things down pretty quickly. Estimates are sketchy because it's hard saying what people's habits are, but you only really get rid of them at the end of autophagy and a night's sleep. That's after 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Most people get up, and if they don't eat for a little bit, they're still in that autophagy, and that's kind of the time you can get rid of these things. It takes a really long time to get into that process, but once you do, it starts grinding them down. If you eat, that all stops. So let's say 2 or 3 hours a day in that metabolism, and you end up with about 47 days to decontaminate it, because they say it takes about 2 to 5 years to get rid of it in the body, which means your body processes it or it wouldn't get rid of it in the urine. That's just the way metabolism works and metabolic chemistry works. There's so many of these things, 10,000 different things have been put in the food supply for no other reason than to make it more sellable, maybe shinier, like the AP covering and all that stuff that's on food these days. Because when you think about it, it has nothing to do with your safety. It has everything to do with the shareholder prices. So all that taken into effect, we end up with a food supply that's terribly toxic, terribly poison, and putting forever chemicals in you all the time, because these are the things that cause illness. These are the things that build up. Then when you get enough of this stuff in your body, you're going to fall into diabetes and heart disease and all the other stuff, cancers, all the stuff that is caused by irritants in the cells, not getting it out of the cells. I keep talking about night being not long enough. It's not. And as I just explained, the only time during autophagy where you kind of get to where you can start doing this, it's like 8 to 10 hours in, only for a couple of hours, because you wake up and go eat. Hippocrates said, doing nothing is often the best remedy. This is one of those times. So let's say in a dry fast, because you've got that going on, you're talking maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days, and you've taken those things, degraded them down, peed them out, because you're peeing every day, because your body's making water every day. Your body's making all the components to do all this stuff while you sleep. It doesn't do it during the day, because you're eating and digesting and processing food and running around, and it's that system turns off. But when you sleep, it turns on, and when you dry fast, it turns on. A lot of situations that occur in the body today, because of this broken food supply and food delivery supply system, is basically mutated warped bodies. I mean, people just don't look right. They look all crooked when they walk. They start filling up fat cells in areas where you wouldn't even expect it. You know, one of the reasons for macular degeneration is fat building up behind the retina. You got to drain your fat cells every now and then, because the fat cells are where your body sequesters all these toxic poisons. So when you do a dry fast, you turn fat on, you bleed your fat out, you urinate all this stuff out, you work with fatty acids in the mitochondria because that's the only thing they're working on, so there's plenty of it in the system. And your body can actually decontaminate the really, really hard stuff that you can't do while you sleep because it takes too long. It takes days of complex deconstruction chemistry using your body's naturally occurring alkene to alkane systems to get rid of this stuff. But it takes time. So if there's anything you need to know about dry fasting, it stops a lot of the problems that'll visit your body and your life and your income and your house and your mortgage and your safety and your family, okay, if you don't take care of it early. You know, this stuff is the toxic slime from the video that Frank Zappa talks about. We're taught it's safe to eat this stuff. It's not. We're encouraged to eat this stuff because it causes the problems for an industry that makes a lot of money on you being ill. So the first thing to ever think about dry fasting for is there's plenty of benefits. I'll talk about them, but mostly it's this detox thing. If you can turn your autophagic systems on for long enough, you can get rid of the stuff that's really built up, and you'll see that on your first dry fast. But you won't see it as much on subsequent ones, which then brings up another conversation I talk about in my third book. Well, if you get rid of the toxins, then when you do a dry fast, all those energies that are used to run all that enzymatic chemistry, all those proteins and enzymes and amino acids and DNA reading, all that jazz, and it's not doing that, and it's just regenerating cells. It's regenerating your stem cells so that sometimes they don't remodel tissue. Sometimes they just start duplicating like crazy and replacing cells in an organ to secrete the enzymes that come out of them, the interleukins and stuff that are healthy. It actually encourages the cells around them to act like younger cells. You know, dry fasting is many things to many people, but I think probably the most important reason is to get the stuff out of your body that a bloated and corrupt food, government, tech industry has created for us to try to live in. So yeah, I would send this one to all your friends. That's probably enough for today. You know, your body has the ability to get rid of the toxins, and they do come out. You just have to be on a dry fast long enough. That being said, if you don't dry fast, you're going to suffer from this stuff. It's unavoidable. You can reduce the amount coming in, but unless you reduce the amount coming in and get rid of the stuff that is coming in and don't reach some kind of parity, then, you know, it's like you're just giving up. It's like being in an airplane that runs its engine and only does the taxiway the whole time that plane exists, never gets to fly. Well, maybe it's time to fly. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to enjoy this wonderful, wonderful day here in the ocean, and I just wanted to kind of share it with you guys. So if you like the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. Check out some of the other videos below because you'll see stuff you need to know about. And I will talk to you very soon. Keep the cards and letters coming in. I answer my emails, and they give me great reason to post some of these videos on these various topics. So God bless you all for participating and helping me to get the message out, and have a nice day.